Hello and welcome to another Flosstube video. I'm sorry it's been forever, literally forever, since I was last here. As you might notice from the background, it's different from what it was. That's because I finally moved house. Thus the radio silence and why I haven't been here for quite some time. We've been moving. We're finally in the new house. I will do a house tour at some point, but at the moment there are boxes and stuff everywhere and it's a horrible mess. So house tour will be in the future. But I've been promising you guys a Flosstube for ages, and I've recently sort of got back into, normally a table there, it's not there. I've just recently got back into sort of stitching with a bit more passion, getting back into it. I've been watching some Flosstube myself. So this is going to be a small video. I did have a finished object to show you, but unfortunately I can't find it. It's in a box somewhere. I've no idea where it's gone, which is really annoying because I actually finished it. So at some point, maybe in the next one, hopefully when I've found a few more things, I will show you that particular piece of work. So I have for you today a little bit of haul, some future project ideas, and my current work in progress. So I think this is Flosstube number 5. Can't remember, it's been a while since I did one. Up until recently, I haven't been stitching an awful lot. I've just, as I say, just recently sort of got back into it. So I'm going to start with haul. It's only a little bit. This comes from a company that I found on Etsy. They're called, what are they called? Pip and Chip. Pip and Chip. And I do really cute, like, storage ideas, ways of keeping floss. So I have a set of 12 of these. Hang on, let me turn them around, you see them better. These are little piggy thread holders. Now you can they also sell boxes that you can put these in to keep them all nice and tidy, so the thread obviously would wind round. My only concern is where do I put the thread number to say which thread it is, because I don't want to write on him because obviously I'll change them. But I think he's really cute. I haven't got to use him yet because I only just got him before I moved, so the elastic bands are on there at the moment, but there will be thread on there. I just might put like the thread colour on a little piece of paper and stick it on and then change it. So I've got the same problem with the next item as well, but there's lots of piggies. That's the back, this is the front. They're really, really cute. I just think they're adorable. They're so lovely. She does loads of different themes, and not all animals, some of them are other themes. I like pigs. I have 2 guinea pigs. I used to collect pig ornaments when I was small. I just have a thing about pigs. I'd love to have real pigs one day. Not that guinea pigs aren't real, but you know what I mean. Full grown coony pigs. That's what I'd love to keep. They're a New Zealand breed. So anyway, getting back on track. My other item, which I absolutely love. This is a thread holder. Again, I don't know how I'm going to mark the individual threads, but being a horse person, how gorgeous is this? So all your threads go on individual. You could probably write them up here, but again, I wouldn't want to mark it permanently. So I need to figure out how to note which colours are which, but I absolutely love this. I think it's beautiful. Obviously I'm horse crazy, so it's right up my alley. But again, from Pip and Chip on Etsy, they're a UK-based company, which is great for me because I'm in the UK. I currently have very big jealousies for those of you that live in America with all the Halloween patterns, because we don't get many of them over here, and I'm mega jealous. But this is the company logo. I don't know if you can see that. My camera's not overly behaving, but I think they're lovely, and it's got a lovely little message on it that just says, "Thank you so much for your order, happy stitching," which is really sweet. So I will definitely be putting these to use. They're gorgeous. I love them. That's my little haul section for today. Moving on to my current work in progress. Now this is going to be an absolute labour of love. I've already changed the fabric once. I've had to rip out the stitches God knows how many times because I've done it wrong. It's been a nightmare so far, but I'm hoping that in the end, when I have the final product, which will look like this, it's going to be worth it. So this is obviously from Cross Stitch Crazy magazine. It is their Stonehenge piece. Living in the UK, having been to Stonehenge, it's the most amazing place. I absolutely love it. So I couldn't resist this pattern, but my goodness. Full coverage is not something I've ever done before. So this is my version so far. It is on the hoop, guys, sorry about that. This is as far as I've got. As I say, it is a complete and utter labour of love. This red section here has come out about 4 times because I keep doing it wrong. I get the wrong colour for the wrong bit. It's been a nightmare. I've miscounted. Oh my goodness. Absolute pig to stitch. But how pretty is it? Even at this point, I'm like, it's so pretty. I'm really, really happy with it despite all the drama. So that's my current work in progress. I will let you know how it goes. I'm not the fastest stitcher, as many of you know. I take a long time. I don't get a lot of time to stitch, and I'm on holiday for 2 weeks, but I'm going away, so I'm not going to get a lot of time to do it in the next couple of weeks, but I will keep you updated. Other things to show you are future goals. So I've bought a couple of magazines recently. I do have a subscription to this one, and I'm thinking of upgrading at some point to this one. So this is the kind of beginner to intermediate. This is more intermediate. I love both the magazines. I've had a passion for them for a long time. I don't have a craft or a needle shop near me, apart from Hobbycraft, and they don't really stock a lot of cross-stitch stuff. So there's not many places to go to buy cross-stitch materials, cross-stitch patterns. One of the things that really drives me crazy is that I can't find even weave fabric anywhere. People in the UK, if any of you know where I can get linen or even weave fabric, I've got some good websites. Please let me know, because I'm stuck like stitching on Ada, which although Ada's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. I just personally prefer how even weave feels, how it looks as a finished project, particularly with more old-fashioned designs. I like some of the old-fashioned samplers, and I don't really want to be I don't really want to be stitching a sort of an oldie worldy sampler on Ada, because I think it would look better on even weave, but I don't know where to find it. So if anyone's got any suggestions, please comment below. I'd be massively grateful. But moving on, so one of my future projects, I saw this in Cross Stitch Crazy magazine. I just think it's gorgeous. I love the idea. It's something a bit different. This is the pattern. It's a journal cover, and I don't think I've shared this with any of you. I'm actually currently doing a diploma in journal therapy. I find writing very cathartic, very therapeutic. I work in mental health, and I think it'd be really useful for my patients. So thus the diploma. But the dream journal pattern, there it is again. I just think it's beautiful. I'm hoping to stitch this at some point in the future. I think I've got some black fabric somewhere. Not sure where it is. Also coming up soon, my new house has something rather fabulous. We have a workshop, which is going to be my craft room. So at some point there'll be a craft room tour, but at the minute, oh no, not right now. I need to paint it and put lights up, and oh my goodness, so much work needs to be done. But it's going to be my craft room, and I'm very, very excited to have one. So that's an upcoming video. But going back to some slightly more, I think the dream journal cover is quite advanced personally, like quite intermediate level. It's got, so let me see, we've got whole cross stitch, fractional stitches, back stitch and French knots. Most of you know I loathe back stitch with a passion. So that's going to be a challenge for me, but I am looking forward to it. And then I really hope that the fact that somebody's trying to call me isn't coming up on this video. Someone from work is trying to call me, and I'm not at work today. That's helpful. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting really sidetracked. I haven't done one of these in far too long, and I just keep getting distracted. Oops. So moving on to the world of cross stitching. I have never bought this magazine before. Don't know why. It's just never grabbed me. But it's the same company that does both. And I thought, you know, I'm kind of ready for something a bit more advanced. I'm starting to like stitching bigger projects. I used to do lots of little ones. So I thought I'd pick this up and see how it compared. And I have to say I wasn't disappointed. So there's 2 designs in here. The first one is Halloween themed. I'm so over the moon to have found something Halloweeny. How immensely cute is this? Pumpkin patch teddy bears on blue Ada. I've got blue Ada upstairs somewhere. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to get onto this. that's probably going to be my next stitch, because I'm itching to do it. Like, the Stonehenge one is going to take me forever, and I'm not normally someone who has more than one project on the go at the time, because I just won't finish them. So I try and do them one and then one and then one. Not sure this is going to wait that long, because I really, really want to stitch it, but I'll get too into it and then I'll leave the Stonehenge project. So we will see. But I love that it's a bit more, it's got glow in the dark thread in it, which is a nightmare to use because I have a previous cross stitch, which I can show you. You will have seen this before if you've watched my previous videos. I just knocked my needles everywhere. Fortunately, they all stayed in the case. So some of you will have seen this one before. It's still not finished, by the way. This needs back stitching. I've done some of it. The moon in this design is done with glow in the dark thread. It looks awesome. The problem with it is that it like splits a lot. I've also got my very appropriate needle holder up here. Halloween party. Can't remember where I got this from. It's from Etsy, but I can't remember which shop. So one of these days, I am going to finish the back stitch on this piece because I don't know if I need to finish it. Right, okay, poll time. People of YouTube / Flosstube, do I need to backstitch the rest of this? Can you tell that part of it is backstitched and part of it isn't? Let me know what you think. I probably will do the outline of the moon and backstitch around the moon, but I'm not sure that the tree really needs it because you can't really see it. And I'm a bit close, sorry. I've also noticed that there's a mark on it which is bugging me. I'm going to have to wash it. Anybody know how to wash cross stitch, particularly on hand-dyed fabric? Maybe we won't wash it. It's not that obvious. I think it's just the thickness of where the stitches are. That's really annoying. It's like one row of stitches looks darker than the rest. I'm going to have to think about that. Shouldn't have got it out. But no, let me know what you think with regards to the back stitching, because it's a nightmare to do. It's black round black and I can't see it, which is why I haven't done it. So let me know what you think on that particular subject. Leave me a comment. That would be good. So last future project that I have. Again, it's from the World of Cross Stitching magazine. I've got to find it, sorry. So the final piece will look like, it's a fairy garden. As you can tell, I like kind of like fantasy subjects or historical subjects. This is like fairy garden design with a little fairy house. It's obviously in full colours. I love the fairies and the mushrooms and the autumn leaves. I just think it's mega cute. I'd love to stitch this. In the picture, I think it's on some kind of like blue background, so I'd have to find out how to find the fabric. So what does it say? It suggests 28 count even weave. Where am I going to find 28 count even weave in like pale blue? Anyone got any ideas? I don't know how to find funky fabric in the UK. Unfortunately, I know you can get it in the States. The problem is import tax, particularly on fabric that's quite heavy. I'd be quite scared to order it from the States, to be honest. If anyone has had experiences of doing that lives in the UK, again, leave me a comment because I'd be really grateful for any information or suggestions you have. I have been cross-stitching a long time. You would think, with my lack of knowledge, I hadn't been doing it very long. I have been stitching since I was 18 years old. I've just always done Ada, because until very recently, some of you would have seen the rose sampler that I did for my mum in previous videos. That's the first thing I ever stitched on even weave. It's the only thing I've ever stitched on even weave, and I was so happy with how that came out in the end. I mean, it was a journey. It was definitely a challenge, but I'm so pleased with it. My mum absolutely loves it as well. So, you know, she couldn't believe I'd stitched it. She was like, did you do this? She couldn't actually believe I'd hand stitched it. So that was really lovely. But having had that experience, I don't mind Ada. It's just, it's a bit stiff and it's a bit rigid and I like the texture better. The other thing I have to show you now, I inherited this. This is from a friend who very kindly donated. It's actually a beading table, but a lap tray with light. Now, it's supposed to be for beading, but I have used it for cross stitch in the evenings because the lighting in my front room is not the best for trying to stitch by, probably why I've had to rip out half my stitches recently. So I thought I'd show you my little table. I think it's fab. It's got a cup holder, or you could put needles or threads or beads or whatever. There's a space down here as well for like beads if you were working on a beaded project and you had all the individual beads down here. It's got the adjustable light. This thing is epic and it didn't cost me anything. This is like recycled to me. So we're very happy with our lap tray. So that is all I've got for you today, although I have an idea. Now this is nicked. I have stolen this idea from the Stitchy Bookworm. She lives in America. She's from Ohio, I think. I've recently watched 2 of her videos. She's relatively new to Flosstube. I love your videos. If you're out there and you're watching this, you really inspired me to get back on here and do this. And I actually love the fact that she does book reviews as part of it. And I'm really hoping that she wouldn't mind if I kind of pinched her ideas, because she was talking about books that she likes. I'm a massive reader. You can probably see I've got massive bookcases behind me. And it's great to have one hobby, but what's wrong with having 2? So on that note, I am going to recommend a non-fiction book. Ooh, which is very heavy. I haven't read all the way through this. This is new. I've just started this. My mum lent it to me. So if you are into gardening, particularly if you live in the UK and you've heard of Monty Don, this is his book. It's called The Irvington Diaries. It is obviously about gardening. It's about his property that he bought with his wife and how they converted it from pretty much flat ground into a beautiful garden. But it's also about his personal journey. Now, I have mental health condition. I have depression. As some of you know, I suffer with anxiety and I also work in mental health. People, we are not alone, because Monty Don also suffers with depression. That's part of why I love this book so far. I haven't got that far into it, but it really helps my brain on days when I don't feel so great. I can look at this and know I'm not alone. So I'm recommending it to anyone who has ever struggled, because it's very down to earth. It isn't nursey in any way. It's just a true, real journey of how gardening can help. And from my own personal perspective of now having a garden, which I'm over the moon about, I actually kind of have 2 because I have a front garden and a back garden. I spent part of last weekend cutting down a hedge, or at least pruning back a hedge, and I was just out there on my own in the sun with the birds in the garden around, and it was very therapeutic, to say the least. It certainly helped my brain. So I would recommend gardening to pretty much anybody. But that's my little recommendation if you fancy a big chunky book. I hope that you enjoyed this small edition of Flosstube. Sorry I haven't got any finished pieces to show you. I will find it for the next video. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed this. If you stuck with me and listened, thank you very much. I'm really glad that you're here. I do appreciate the support that I've received for doing these kind of videos, and I hope to speak to you all soon. Take care. Have a lovely stitchy weekend. Bye.